I'm Tanya Baeva. I'm not a professor. I'm a resident, so part of local Belarusian diaspora here in the Bay Area. I wanted to respond to a point raised by John about similarity or dissimilarity about the protest, because I think it's important. So in my view, I think the protests are related. And I think in a way that protest in Khabarovsk gives courage to people, to the protest, in Belarus and vice versa, right? I think through both people of Russia and people of Belarus are fighting the fear and fighting the notion that there is this one guy who controls everything, right? So by coming out to the streets en masse, people finally started realizing, it's up to us. It's up to my individual, willpower to make a difference. So I think, and I think that's what scares the autocrats of this world, right? That people will realize that, that's, the king is naked, right? That it's up to us, to me. And if a lot of us, we actually, can take down, the big guy. So I think protests anywhere in Russia, protests anywhere in Belarus, they're very helpful for democratization of either either society. So I think they are somewhat related. And I also wanted to add, if I may, to Eric's observation about the 1994 constitution. So I think one error made in that constitution, which is fundamental, is structuring Belarus as the presidential versus parliamentary system. Because I don't think in 1994, Belarus had institutions, to oversee the proper separation of powers, right? I mean, in the US here, we also struggle sometimes with this issue where we have a very strong executive, right? In Belarus, that was an issue, that the country as part of the Soviet Union was governed by the party, and then transferring all this power to the president led to the consequences we are facing.